folks. So just out in the van, awesome day, and doing a little work straightening the van out. I had to get the van straightened out and a little bit more stuff in the garage straightened out because we're getting to the point now where I've got pretty much everything situated on what I'm keeping everything. Now it's figuring out what's staying and what's going in here. So most of the stuff that is going to be staying in there is stuff that I basically saved up for my son. You know, a lot of tools, toolbox, everything. That's all saved up for my boy. And I got to get him a woodworking set. He wants to do carvings and stuff like that. So going to Amazon and I'm going to get him a woodworking set. Comes with a leather case and everything. So going to hook him up with that. And that's basically what I'm doing the garage for. His mom already said I have permission to go in there and hook up part of the garage. And that way it's going to be his little work area. So we were going to do that this year. But he decided he wanted to hold off on it because he really wanted me to put more time and everything into the fish tank and all that stuff and getting parts of his room done, like I'm putting shelves up and everything for him. He wanted me to concentrate on that, and I said, okay, we'll do this next time. So, all right, folks. Well, I want to do my quick, little opinion on the new executive order from Trump, basically banning the lifestyle. First of all, from some of the videos, not all. From some of the videos, I'm seeing a bit of a lack of concern about it. And I do believe there is a bit more to be worried about if you live this lifestyle, especially if you're a boondocker. Like in the past, there's been the situations where, towns and, municipalities have done things where it's harder to park at Walmart, it's harder to park here, it's harder to park there. But we've always figured out a way gotten through that, but this is, I think, a bit different. This is an executive order from the president, and this is like outright, just like almost pretty much like banning the lifestyle. So I do believe there needs to be a bit of a concern, and the biggest concern that I have with it is, I believe they call it civil. I actually wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Civil involuntary commitment. Where basically they could go out there and like, oh, this guy's mental, and they can involuntarily put you into a mental institution, or involuntarily they can make you go into a treatment facility or a shelter. And I myself don't want to be in a shelter. Me and my dog are living just fine and lovely. What I'm saying? We don't need all that. And also, I can understand some of the situation that they are going after is when you have, I can understand this. If you have just like a row of RVs parked on a street, vast majority of them are broken down. They've got tarps on them. They're basically just flop houses for people to live in. They don't go anywhere. They don't move. And outside you've got tents on the sidewalk. This and that. I understand this, man. And the vast majority of these individuals, they're doing drugs. They're drinking heavily. They're partying. They're doing this and that. I mean, you see the people, come on. If you're in a major city and you've seen somebody just leaning over, and they're like leaning over, like how they don't fall, I don't know. But, the fentanyl lean, these guys are messed up. There's a lot of violence and everything that's going on. So I understand them wanting to clean that up. Okay. And I blame previous administrations for this, because there was no balance. There's no having compassion yet being strong on crime. There's just compassion, and just understanding. And, you can't do that because, a little slap on the wrist, they're going right back out doing the same thing over and over and over and over. There has to be a balance where, yes, you're being decent, you're leaving people alone, but you also can't have freaking huge encampments in business areas where people are trying to walk by with their kids and everything and seeing what they're seeing. They can't do it. So I understand. And because these past administrations have gone to the extreme of allowing people to do whatever they want, now previous administrations going through extremes to clean it up. And another issue that I have with this is that it's not like any of these administrations, including Trump's, including everybody's. Nobody's going to sit there and be like, oh, shoot, okay, well, van lifers are exempt from this. They're all right. And RVers are all right. And, the boondockers, don't worry about them. They just like to go out in the woods and do the things. They're exempt. No, we're all getting clumped up, folks. So if you're a van lifer, you're an RVer, just a boondocker who really likes this lifestyle, who's a part of this lifestyle, not just, you know, uh, um, um, doing this lifestyle to supplement money for your habit or something. If you're really a van lifer and everything who enjoys the freedom, enjoys this lifestyle, you're going to be clumped up right with the rest of them. Van lifer, no, 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 no. You're a homeless degenerate. You're an addict. You're this, you're that, just like the rest of them. Everybody's being clumped up into that bunch. And then that's where that, civil involuntary commitment thing concerns me. Is when they're going to be able, what if you're in an area and they kind of don't like you or something like that? Maybe you got wise with them one time and they want to nail you with that, I do believe there needs to be more concern. I understand when it comes to the major situation of drugs, crime, and so forth, and having to clean areas up that are really hit hard like that. I understand that, and I support that. But there's gotta be a balance to leave van lifers and everybody alone who are just trying to live their life. Where I'm from, like I said, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that a lot of the police know me. They know all I do is live my life. Me and my dog, we chill. We go around, we park. I hang out with my friends and say what's up. I'm not a drug dealer. I'm not out there trying to fight nobody. This and that, and I'm just living my life. And a lot of them know that. So I'm lucky to be in an area like that. And when I come here with the kids, I think a lot of people out here know I just hang out with my kids. I have my dog and everything. I don't bother nobody. I'm not doing anything. But they're not going to look at it that way in the big cities. They're just going to clump us all up, and that's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about that. Unlike before, where we all said the sky is falling, the life is over because it was getting harder to park at Walmart. I think this is a far more serious situation than any situation nomadic lifestyle has ever faced. So, anyways, that's just my humble opinion on the matter. Hopefully, I didn't freaking ramble and go off here and here too much. I wrote some stuff down so I could try and stay on base, but well, who knows? Anyways, going back out, work on the garage, work on the van and everything in a bit. And also, I got a piece of plywood because I got to make a top for my son's fish tank. And that's what we're doing today. So until next time, don't forget, always forward to the next adventure. The vlog is down.